Welcome back to Grit Gym. You're gonna have to get taller. You're gonna have to get. Get up here.
Like, why do you have to be so tall?
Get up here with the giant people. All right, so we're here with Amanda Scott. Amanda, what are you? You're 2 months out from your run.
Yeah.
2 months out from running 176 miles in 6 days. 6 days, 176 miles. Do the math. 180 miles would have been 30 miles every day. So she ran just shy of 30 miles every day. That's much more than a marathon. How do you train for that? How do you have the guts to do that? How do you have the mindset to continue to push through that? And then how do you recover from it? Because that's where she is now. So she's here with us and she's trying to get taller because, you know, she's in the land of the giants. But she's here with us today. She's going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to recap. If you guys saw the other one that we did to try to raise money for MS for her run, then this is the follow-up. Okay, so I should have put the link in. Are you still taking?
Okay.
Are they still taking donations?
Because my goal was 10,000. I'm still just a little under 10,000, but we're still taking donations. They're hitting New York this weekend. Like, that's the end. So yes.
Running into New York.
Yeah. So that's our end point. There's like a big party that goes on.
Okay, so I don't know if they know.
Yeah.
Where did it start?
So they started in California. Got a little battery issue there.
I don't know.
They started in California back in April. So they started in California, 18 of us, ran our miles, and, the last one will hit New York this weekend. So yeah, I ran across the U.S.
Yeah.
MS.
How many people are involved in this? How many people did the running?
So 18. So
18
I was one
people.
of 18 people, yeah.
So Amanda is one of 18 people that started in California and are going to end in New York, and they're going to finish in just a few days?
Yeah.
That's a lot of miles.
Yeah. It's like the whole thing started like one individual who started MS from the US. She ran that by herself over 6 months. So
that's crazy.
It was nuts. Like, she was talking about how she went through 26 pairs of shoes, 2 blisters, and
so probably like 2,000 blisters.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I would be just one big blister.
I got super lucky. That was something I was worried about, but only ended up with one.
Yeah.
And it was really a matter of having, I was really glad I ended up spending a lot of money on good socks. And
seriously, I love good socks.
Yeah.
Like, literally nice socks. Really crappy socks suck. Really nice socks are awesome.
Yeah. So.
What'd you do? Like, what was your motive behind the whole thing?
Well, the whole reason I did it, MS is very important to me because my mom and sister both have it. And I know a lot of people that have it. And now I know twice as many people that have it. Just the amount of people that I met through my run, random people that knew I was coming through that showed up to run with me, people that had MS, people that had family members that had MS.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part of it was just meeting.
And people that you didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think guys, if you're watching this, please take the time to hit that share button. Hit that share button and share this out, because that's the power of social media. People were showing up to run with Amanda throughout her whole 6 days of running that 176 miles, which was really cool. And that happened because people shared videos like this, and then people donated money through those videos, and it creates this kind of viral effect. So if you guys are watching this, please hit that share button, share this out publicly to all your friends, and maybe even if you really feel like getting crazy, go through and individually share it to every one of your friends on Facebook. But
the other cool thing, the hospital I work for, the university here in town, they caught wind of it and made a video out of all my pictures.
Yeah, that was cool.
Took.
They did a really good job of that.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
And they sent it out to the university, the school, the hospital, whatever. And I just started getting random emails from people that worked for the university, and I was just I get goosebumps about it because the one that stuck out to me the most was a woman. Interruption.
We're back.
Both her sisters have had MS. Yeah. One of her sisters passed away from MS, but she was like, I had no idea. When both my sisters got diagnosed, I just thought we were an unlucky family. And we just stopped researching it and just assumed that's what it was. But, you know, after hearing your story, you know, we want to know now. So we're going to more doctors now, and we want to know the reason behind this. So she just said, I just want you to know how much what you did mean to us. And
it's awesome. This stuff, like what you did, like this kind of stuff, like the ability to reach out and touch people in a positive way, like to influence people in a positive way. Little like a big thing like this, like doing big things, like have the courage to do stuff like this gets people. It raises the game, you know. Like you definitely rose the game on fundraising, on like the kind of action that behind what it takes to actually make an impact. Just I think
it's such a weird thing because I'm like, people are saying all these things like thank you, and I'm like, to me initially it was like, you know, like I didn't feel like I was doing something like out of the ordinary. I was like, I want to do this for my family and that kind of thing, but didn't realize like how many people you know it really affected.
Well, it's easy to say, oh, I'm just running, but you're not just running. Like you have 2 people in your family that 2 people that you care about more than anybody in the world, and you've seen their lives get stripped away from by something that should be curable. Because I mean, really, it's a pretty simple disease. The cure is not simple. The disease is that the insulation of your nerve just degenerates, so it can't send the signal. So it would be like putting an electric cord in into a pond without any kind of insulation around it. The electricity would just go everywhere. But if you have that, insulation around it, it just goes right through. It's the same thing. So somehow we've got to find a way to be able to grow that myelin sheath back.
It you know, and it affects everybody differently in different ways. You know, there was a gentleman that ran with me, and he ran actually there were several people on our team of 18 that had MS that ran, you know, but then it affects people so severely, like my sister, to where, you know, she's in her mid-30s and like that's it, like this disease has affected everything in her life, to the point where, you know, social media was a huge thing to her to be able to still interact and communicate with people, but it's gotten to the point where that's even hard for her anymore. Like, because she can't see the screens and stuff. So, and I mean, I think it was as far as something to raise money for and awareness, just because of the amount of people that have it.
And we have a member out here that has MS, and he's worked out here, and like one of the weird things to hear, like one day he came up to me, he stopped me, and it was like he's been wanting to say it for a long time, and he was like, hey, I just want to thank you for everything you've done for me. And I was like, I didn't do anything, dude. Like, that's awesome. I just told you to work out. And he's like, no, like he told me the story about how that weekend he had gone to the Children's Museum here in town. And he's like, a year ago, I would not have been able to run around and crawl around in all those spaces with my little boy. And he said he had the greatest time, and it was like he had his life back. Just because he started working out and he started eating better, and it allowed him to just do a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Because his life had just been taken from him. So, like, obviously, like, exercise plays a part in this. But,
for sure.
Like, just being a part of that, I was floored. I didn't know what to say. And I'm pretty quick on my feet. Like I can usually talk.
And you're like.
And I was like, I don't know. He was saying thank you to me, and I wanted to say thank you to him. You know, that's just so inspirational for me.
But I think that's one thing that I like about Grit Gym, and it's been so cool. The amount of people that I've, you know, met here that work out here is that it is such a accessible thing, and it's very welcoming, and it's very, you know, like, no one judges anybody, and I think people feel free when they come here. Like, I hope so. You know, they can be themselves, and
I hope so. Well, that's what I wanted to set up. Cool. I know like what I've been through in my life and how not welcome I've felt places. I don't want anybody to ever feel like that. Whether it's here or anywhere. So if they're coming in here, like, I want to make them feel so safe and so welcome that eventually they feel like they can really express who they really are, and they can explore who they really are.
Exactly.
But yeah, I was really thankful that Mark said that to me. That just meant the world to me. But no, this isn't about me. So Amanda took off. She ran 176 miles. Was it scary before you started?
It was super scary. Like, the things are going through my head. Like, did I train enough? Did I run enough? Like, what's my body gonna do? What's my mind gonna do?
And you did train for this one. Amanda's done other really long runs.
Right.
And you trained for this one different than you trained for the other ones.
Yeah.
And there was a couple like the shin splints and that came up about 6 weeks beforehand.
Yeah.
How did you train different for this one than you usually trained?
So I did a lot more strength training, which I never really did in the past. It was more just like straight running and a little bit of cross training here and there, biking and that kind of thing. But hands down, if I would not have done that strength training, it would have been totally different. It really would. Because I've had issues in the past where I've done some longer runs and had issues with, my hips, kind of giving out first and knees and that kind of thing. So I really think it was played a huge factor, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Just the durability of your body increases so much when you get strong. It's insane.
Right.
And then the shin splint started about 6 weeks out, and you couldn't even, because I remember telling you that, being like, you don't get to run until the race. And you're like, but I have to run.
I have to run. I'm going to be running.
Like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm gonna run. I'm like, yeah, but you're not gonna make it through your race if you run on where your body is right now.
The craziest thing was, at the end of the race, it wasn't the shin splints. I quit running, like you said, and it was really, really hard. But we did other things, like with heart rate monitoring and that kind of stuff. But
we jumped on the bike. We did more lactic stuff. We did more interval stuff. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, at the end of my run, it wasn't my shin splints that bothered me. They weren't. I'm glad I didn't run, actually. Like, what more could I have done in 3 weeks to prepare for that kind of distance?
Yeah. You needed to recover.
Yeah, for sure. So feet the size of like an elephant and that sort of thing were really what
Here, scoot over this
got
way.
me.
I won't bite, I swear. Guys, when you run that many miles, even when you run marathon, when people run marathons, that kind of thing, your ankles swell, your feet swell. You start a lot of people will lose toenails during the race, not just in the weeks following.
Right.
Your knees take a huge pounding. Your hip has to take so much stress over the course of that time, and you're constantly doing the same motion over and over and over. 1 mile is about 1,500 to 2,000 steps or strides, depending on how fast you're running or walking. So take that times 176. That's a lot of stress that she's putting on her body, and to the point that the body will start to kind of like, I don't know, what do you call that? Where it's a word that starts with a D. Not diplomacy, but like where it says you do this and you do that, and what do you call that?
Not quite sure.
Shit. Anyway. The body will start. It'll say like, okay, we're not gonna pay attention to the brain. The brain's just gonna do its thing. Let the brain do its thing. We have to put all of our energy towards the legs and the arms and the energy systems just to keep her alive. So you start to get runner's brain. Rummer's brain, and you start to go crazy, and then that's where you saw the interview that we did with Amanda while she was during her run, when she stopped to eat one night, where she can't even think, because her body's just like, oh my god, recover.
Yeah, like it just all it thought about was food and and
how was it when you got to that point? Was it just like, because it just had to take tons and tons of guts.
So yes, it did, and it was very much a mind over matter. Like I said, like your mind will quit on you 100 times over and over and over, but to convince it to no, you're fine. I kept having to remind myself, like, well, let me back up just a little bit, but like after that first day, like I didn't train a lot on like gravel and stuff, and I didn't realize ahead of time that it wasn't just gravel, it was like boulder rocks I was running on for like the first day.
That would suck.
Yeah, it did. Bad. So the next morning when I got up, like I could barely walk to the bathroom or like get dressed, but I was like, how am I going to do this? Like literally, how am I going to do this? And I remember getting out there that morning, and it was gravel again, and I just like cried on the side of the highway and was just like, I hate you, gravel. And but I was like, okay, you know, take a step back, like one foot in front of the other, like you're not dying, your legs aren't broken, like you're fine, you're going to be fine, like, you know. I was like, it can't really get worse than this at this point. So I just, like, it just went. The third day, I was really struggling. Like, I walked a lot of it. My legs just wouldn't go. But after that, like, towards the end of the week, it just, like, a lot of that stuff kind of subsided. I don't know if it was, like, my brain was tricking me, but, you know.
It could have been just like, well, we give up on trying to make you stop.
Right.
Just finish this damn thing.
I just was like, I can't stop. Like, I remember moments where like, there were so many just like euphoric moments of it too.
Yeah.
Where like, I was out in the country by myself, you know, surrounded by pigs and whatever, goats and stuff like that. And I'm like playing my music really loud, just singing at the top of my lungs, like just running by myself, you know, like.
With the pigs?
Yeah, it was like, I could do this every day.
The pigs.
Oh yeah, I talked to them for sure. I was kind of losing it a little bit.
Yeah, I would imagine you were losing it a lot. But.
Yeah.
By the way, if you guys have questions for Amanda throughout this talk, post them in the comments section, but please take the time to share this out. It's social media that brought a lot of people, that brought awareness to this thing so people could come and run with Amanda. And I don't know, did that help when people showed up?
Oh my gosh. Initially it was like the one thing I was terrified about, like people coming that wanted to run with me. Like I didn't want them to expect to like show up and there'd be this superwoman that can run really, really well and they would. What? Hammer time.
Yeah. For one, they did show up and find like a superwoman. like for real. I know like that sounded cheesy, but like for real, like you're a very good runner. You ran 176 miles. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I just didn't know what their expectations of me would be, and
did it matter?
I
Looking back, does it matter?
No, it ended up being
No.
like a blessing in disguise. I was like, come run with me.
Yeah.
Like it kept me going. Like that first day, I had a good friend of mine out of Des Moines that ran that whole day with me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and she runs ultra marathons and things like that. So she taught me a lot of what to expect and like what your body's going to do and that kind of thing. So, I mean, I am so thankful for the people that showed up. The last day was really cool because like my whole family showed up. My boyfriend's family showed up and we just like all ran together and it was.
That's fantastic.
I know.
Yeah, I love the pictures of you.
Got out. Yeah, it was crazy.
I love the picture of you with your nieces.
Yeah.
With your sister's kids. Mm-hmm. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
Because
really
they're the
awesome.
ones that have like probably taken the most from their mom.
Yeah.
Not being, you know, or that
Right.
not taking the most from their mom, that have sacrificed
Exactly.
having an experience with their mother. You know?
Yeah, I really wish my sister could have been there the last day, but it was in Davenport. It was quite a ways away, but she was there every day. She was on, we FaceTimed and stuff, so it was really cool. But like, I remember just crossing the finish line and like, it just like all hit me. Like my whole body was shaking. Like I literally at that point was like, there's no way I could even run another 500 yards.
Yeah.
Like I was done.
Yeah, I remember seeing you right afterwards, and like you like barely walk out, like you got out of the car and like you barely like bend your knees.
I know.
And you came in here and sat down, and it was just like I didn't even know how to express like admiration's the wrong word, but
I don't even feel. My mom and I were looking back at pictures, and she was like, "You didn't even look like yourself." She was like, "You just, you looked low battery."
it's okay. We got 10% left. We're gonna
What was the word I was gonna use? She was like, you look like death from like the top up, but from the bottom down, you looked like you had gained like 20 pounds. It was crazy. I did.
Well, you were probably pretty swollen just because you'd run so far. Swollen, not this kind of swollen.
No, like
like all my blood is in my legs.
Yeah.
But I asked you this before in the first interview about do you think that you'll be the same person after you run 176 miles?
No.
And now looking back, how much different are you? What are the realizations, or how much different are you now, or what did you find after running 176 miles and before running 176 miles?
I think a huge thing is just like mentally strong.
Yeah.
Like, it is insane what our bodies are capable of doing if we
Really is.
just let them do it.
Yeah.
You know, like your mind is convincing you can't.
Yeah.
But you can.
Yep.
You really can.
Yeah.
And like I guess I'm proud of myself for that. Like, if I
be.
can do that, like I can do a lot of things, you know. So that was a huge thing. And like the after thing of the after the run has been kind of weird. It was like this 8 months of building up to something, and it happened, and it was huge, and it was once in a lifetime thing. And then it was like, okay, now what? Like, what do I do now? Like, it was just like.
I know we've talked about that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like how, like the restlessness and the.
Yeah, it just has been. It's for sure been a struggle, but I kind of had a post interview with the MS the organization. They're like, that's a pretty common thing that happens, and you
should capitalize on that though. Like, you shouldn't be like I know. You put out that post on Facebook where you're like, what do I do now? And people are like, learn how to relax, learn how to chill out, why don't you just take it off? And I'm like, no, that is not what you do. You get up and you go. Keep the momentum going. Like, keep the obsession going. Like, don't stop. Like, use this to catapult onto something new. Yeah, I get fired up. Like, when people like do something big, like don't slow down. That's not the time.
Right.
Like, when you start getting praise, a lot of people start getting praise and then they slow down. It's like, no, you didn't accomplish anything. You gotta go.
There you go.
Yeah, like that. I get fired up about that stuff. But,
I know.
I get fired up about a lot of things. I like try to calm myself down in these because like I don't think people should probably take it.
No.
They'd be like, that guy's crazy.
Yeah. You don't even know the half of it.
I mean, I probably am. You mean they don't know half of it, or I don't know half of it?
No, they don't.
Yeah, they probably don't.
No.
But you ran 176 miles, so you're a psycho too.
Right.
No. So who do you like what are some of the things that so now like that's what I was thinking of. Like, were you gonna be the same person after 176 miles that you were before? And then like your mom says you look like death, but like on some level, do you think that like parts of you like certain like self-doubts and things like that like died, and that might have been what she was seeing?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, that's a very exaggerated way to look at it, but
I live in
like
hypotheticals.
like
you know this.
I don't know. Yeah, like a lot of the, why did I question all that going into it? I mean, I think it's somewhat natural to question those things, but like to downgrade yourself to the point of like, like being scared, like they're really, my mom says, there's nothing to be scared of. You're just going out there and running. Like, just go run. Like, I don't really know where I'm going with that. But.
Do you think you're just scared that you like weren't going to be enough to pull it off, or that you weren't going to have the endurance to actually finish it?
Exactly.
Or
like,
what if you got sick and then like all these other fears start creeping in, and then you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, and then like I was totally stressing out about it, and like things started, like when you really get stressed out, things start happening with your body and that kind of thing, and you're totally psyching yourself out, and that's when you get sick, and that's when you get giant zits on your face, and
and that's when you don't run as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
how'd you deal with it? Because a lot of people like they don't know how to deal with that.
I mean, I think after the first day, I think a lot of that stuff subsided. Like it's not as horrible as what I made it up to be in my head, but
is it ever?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is it ever as bad as the crap that you coop up that you're like, yeah, that's what I think too. I think everybody scares themselves out of doing what they wanted to do.
Exactly. That's kind of a point I'm trying to get at is like I could have been afraid of not doing it. I could have been afraid of even applying for it, but I kind of was just like, what the heck? Like, let's do it anyway, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen?
Right.
I mean, elephant-sized feet, and
Are your feet normal now? Are they back?
Yeah, like size-wise, yeah. I recognize them now. I have ankles again, but I mean, the recovery's still for sure going on. Yeah. I feel with lifting and stuff, I'm kind of not necessarily starting over again, but like midway.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not where I was
Sure.
before I did it.
Well, I mean, your feet just took such a pounding.
Yeah.
I mean, just over and over and over and over again. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it is bound to be quite a bit of length to that recovery. And your ligaments take and your tendons take much longer than your muscles to recover.
Right.
So it's just going to be a little while.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, 176 miles is a long way.
That's insane. Like when I look back now, I'm like, you ran 176 miles. I'm like, if you told me I'm going to do that again, like, I'd be like, I don't
want to do that.
I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I did that? Yeah. It's
That was
not.
You did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
That's so cool.
like what do you think the big lessons for you were, like coming out of it? What do you think that it taught you that you would like to relay to other people?
Like quit letting your mind get in the way of the things you want to do in your life. Like sometimes you just have to jump and trust yourself that it's going to work out. Like there's so many things that I think we miss out in life because we're afraid of, well, what if this happens, or what if this goes wrong, or what if it doesn't work out? Like really, what is the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So I'm just encouraging people to do a little bit more, like, you know, that they may normally would have talked themselves out of doing. It was really cool too, like the people that were following me on Map My Run, it's like this app or whatever
right.
for running. And like people that were contacting me, like, you motivated me to start working out again. You motivated me to like start running again. And like they're sharing their miles with me and stuff.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm like, this is like it was such a huge impact.
And that's
in
why,
so many ways.
That's why you
like,
don't stop with the momentum that you have. Like that's why you don't stop.
Right.
Like like you raise your game, everybody else raises their game, and then you raise your game again, they just keep on raising their game. It's not like I'll come down to your level to make sure that you feel comfortable. No, you can get up to mine.
Right. And just knowing that being a positive person and putting yourself out there and taking chances, like how much that can encourage other people around
Yeah.
you with, you know, a positive attitude and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
it's contagious.
yeah, it's cool.
You're contagious. I want to be contaged.
You're contagious to an extent.
Oh man! So how do they follow you now? What's your social media stuff? Map My Run. Where do they find if they want to run with you? What do they do?
So yeah, you just download the app to Map My Run, and then you can search people by their names, or
What's your name on there?
it's just my name, Amanda Scott. But like if you're friends with me on Facebook or whatever, it's kind of easier to find and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So you're posting those whenever you go out for a run, which
Yeah.
isn't very often right now. Shouldn't
yeah.
be because you're recovering.
Yeah, I'm chilling out on running.
But you could check in.
Yeah.
At the.
Yeah, you can chat with people on there and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So.
Or like you can do the Facebook check-in. Like, hey, I went to work out. You can go work out.
Right. Yeah.
You need to do the eye emojis.
There you go. I'm watching you.
Yeah, they're kind of creepy.
It was funny. There was this friend of mine was like, "Don't judge me. I only went 3 miles today." And I'm like, come on. Like I'm not sitting around like snooping through Map My Run to see what your workout was like today.
Yeah, but really what she's saying is that she, like she's afraid that wasn't enough.
Right.
You know, like she's
Right.
like that's kind of a bummer because she's almost judging herself.
Yeah, but it was a guy actually.
Oh God.
But the craziest thing
My
was
bad.
I did the Bix a couple weekends ago,
A
and
little crazy.
he went and did the Bix.
Awesome.
And he had always wanted to do it, and had even lived in Davenport where it's
Really?
held, and never did it. And he's like, he was the one that was
How about
like,
that?
like I need to start running, and yeah, it was really cool. And I ended up running into him too, out of them tons of people that were
Did
there.
you like
so.
run into him or did you just kind of like, hey, you are that guy?
We ran into each other. No, we ran in.
went and tackled
we
him.
came across each other.
You're not gonna beat me.
in the line for a free Chick-fil-A sandwich. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was good.
Was it which? Meeting him or the Chick-fil-A sandwich or both?
Both.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
figured,
it was really cool.
Fried chicken's kind of hard to
Yeah,
beat.
after running. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's the other weird thing that's been hard to adjust, because when I was training and running, I pretty much could eat whatever I want.
Well, you had to eat whatever
Yeah.
you wanted, basically.
And now, like, okay, you can't do that anymore.
That's one of the
really hard.
That's one of the funniest things I see. Is like 45-year-old dads that still think they're collegiate athletes, so
Right.
they're drinking their Gatorade and carb loading, and it's like, dude, you don't got to do that anymore. Like,
No,
you're
no.
you're trying to lose 40 pounds, not. You know.
Yeah. So I need to get that in check.
All right, guys. So Instagram, what's your social media handle?
Amanda.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was not trying to be funny there. So it's MANDUH Scott,
Yeah.
SCOTT. What? And then Facebook's just your name.
Yeah.
What's your picture of right now so that they know?
It's me getting ready for like my last mile,
That's-
like my last
yeah.
leg of my run.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good picture. I like
Yeah,
that picture.
that's really cool.
Are you on Twitter?
No.
Snapchat.
Yes.
Snapchat at
Amanda.
like AMANDUH
Yes.
Scott Amanda Scott.
Yeah.
What other ones are there?
think
Facebook,
that-
Instagram. Anyway, go follow her over on those so you guys can keep up with her. Inspiring person, doing really good things for a really good cause. MS should be something that we should be able to cure.
Right.
It just
And I'll
it's a
I'll post
terrible,
my,
terrible disease.
I'll post my link again too.
Yeah.
We can still get to 10,000.
How far are you away?
Not very far.
Not very far.
I don't
Maybe
really remember. I
2,000,
haven't-
$200,
Oh
$20.
no, like less than 1,000.
Less than $1,000 and she hits gold.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else you want to say?
Peace out. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hopefully you come back on here more
Yeah.
as time goes along.
For sure.
Yeah. When you get your
When I do
next
something-
endeavor.
Right.
Right.
We'll see what that'll be.
All right, cool. All right, thanks guys for being here. Please take the time to share this out. The more exposure this stuff gets, usually the better, and the quicker that they get to their money goal.
Right.
But they finish
This weekend.
this weekend, and is 18 people that ran from California to New York, all the way across the country to raise money for MS. And
Yeah.